tuned into SEC Sunday Night, part of the Chief Sports Network.
Welcome to SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network and proudly presented by Hewitt Damaduras Law, HD Law, SC.com. Make sure you call Brad and Dean. Talk to Amanda. Anything that you need there. Personal injury, insurance claim, you fell down the stairs, whatever the case may be. I'm Rob Williams. He is Casey Cregan, the esteemed and award-winning producer of the Message Board Genius podcast. Joins me as co-host here in the first half of the show. Our good friend Craig is off tonight, and so we are diving in and doing this thing. Okay, so let's see. Also, it appears we have another friend. We have another friend with us.
Here he is.
Marler's here.
Got you good.
Yeah, you did. I was just beefing up my notes to make sure that I could solo this thing here in just a few minutes.
I was just beefing up. I had a 1,000,000-calorie dinner, so I'm happy to get on
Casey
camera.
For those of you who are wondering what the heck is happening, I got a text about 30 seconds ago from Marler that said can't make it. So I was I was preparing for everything that needed to be discussed post Casey solo version. But here we are, and we're rocking and rolling, boys. How are we? I just came off of an hour of Gamecock talk. It's time to broaden the lens and look at the entirety of the SEC. Hope everybody's doing well. How's the weekend going?
Stop. That's a balk.
Dude, me and my buddy have had a joke about this for years. For whatever reason, why is this so? You can see everything in my background. For whatever reason, why do umpires get so mad? Like they sound like you're doing something to them personally. It's like, that's a balk. You there, you here. Don't you son of a bitch. And you're like, brother, did I not come set? He's like, you know what you did. Unbelievable. We got a POV of that today.
Yeah, we did get a POV. Now, I don't want to spoil the lead here, but I've umpired high school baseball for 9 years in 3 different states. This year was only the second time in 9 years that I've called a balk. And the kid literally started, and the runner at third started running home and stopped and got frazzled, and then came off the mound and then threw home. Like, I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I thought you were going to make it about what happened on the field of the College World Series, not about yourself. But
you know me better than that. It's always about me. I'm the star of the show.
That's right.
Well,
Did you think it was a balk?
Should be with that voice, Casey. You deserve to be the star of the show.
I don't think it was, but it was close. Again, they said it on the post show that it probably was, but do you call that? I mean, he's doing the same thing with the pitch comm I don't know. He did separate his hands, but was that after the balk was called? I don't know. And
it was 2 strikes in the count too. It's like, so for me, I didn't think it was a balk. I didn't think it was egregious enough because he was doing this the whole time. And it's like another added layer to how stupid that is. But I also think that, dude, if you're a 8th year junior like Hunter Elliott, you got to go compete, and you can't give up a 2-out, 2-strike hit like that, especially. And they did that all day. Like there was the 2-strike stuff, the leadoff walks. Like it was very puzzling from Ole Miss because they'd pitched really well up until that point.
I was waiting for the social media outburst.
Relief.
Yeah. I was waiting for the social media, like the Ole Miss fans starting to complain. They really didn't.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. We've gotten a slight taste of what I heard called the SEC Invitational on that side of the bracket yesterday. But we'll backtrack. Okay. So let's start with the events of today, where obviously Ole Miss was eliminated. What can we say about the Troy Trojans? Skylar Meade with the boys, kind of getting it going, and do they have a chance? Okay, let me ask this question first of all. Let's back way up. Who's America's team out of these 8? Is it Troy or is it West Virginia?
It's got to be Texas, dude. No one ever gives them a chance. It's West Virginia.
I overlooked it. Sorry, Chris.
I think Troy is getting like a lot of love because of the underdog. But I also don't think nobody was like watching that game. They're like, God, I hope Troy wins. This would mean so much to the average fan. West Virginia, I think everybody wants country roads at Charles Schwab Stadium after every game.
Okay, so that one's live now. Just to give an update, even though this is SEC Sunday night, 2-1 North Carolina, bottom of the third, against West Virginia. So still highly competitive. It's not running away like a couple of the games yesterday.
Yeah.
Turn back the clock. Georgia jumped early. But dare I say that it was a story of a pitch, not the bats for Georgia yesterday.
Yeah.
Casey, we've made much about I'm going to say it, lack of depth in the staff there for the Bulldogs, and they have continued to prove us wrong, whether they have pitched well or they've just hit their way out of their lack of times. Volchko was on it yesterday.
I'd even say him. Like he was all right. He was Stanford's Friday night guy, but he wasn't like, oh my God, we're gonna go face Wes Mendez from Florida State this weekend. It was like, oh, okay. You're gonna get 89, 91. He I don't know what he's on in Athens, but I've been to those bars and there's a lot of good stuff coming out of there. So he was fantastic last night. But again, I keep saying it every week, like, oh, the arms are gonna be what brings them down, what their downfall is. But
it doesn't matter if you don't use any.
Proven wrong every time. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt the same way with Texas because I was like, and I felt like an idiot because one, I don't ever want to be on the side of taking Texas in anything. They're not as bad as Tennessee fans, but I don't know if a lot of their fan base deserves happiness. There's a couple in there that I like. I love Court Samuels. I love Amanda Atwell. They're all great. There's a couple of good ones in there, but for the most part, I made fun of their lineup last week for being incredible douchebags. And they were, and they continue to prove that. I think yesterday just so happens that one of the douchebags is like hitting 591.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
That kid's awesome. I hate him, but he's awesome. But no, I thought the thing that was interesting was like you got to feel good if you have Volantis coming off your Texas, big tall lefty. Not that Georgia has struggled, but it just felt like it's we just saw Volchko against Mississippi State go. What was it, like 5 2/3 and gives up, or maybe 6 1/3, something like that, and gives up 7 runs, 4 of them earned. And it was like, man, this guy's getting shelled. And now you're going to go to a ballpark where they're not going to be able to hit their way out of it necessarily, like with putting balls over the fence. And it was really impressive. It was also very odd to see Texas make that many mistakes in the moment, like the 2 errors in the first inning, both by the catcher, I think.
Yeah,
all the leadoff walks and stuff like that. It was just very, very odd. What's his name? Volantis pitched really well.
He just took him a minute to settle in, and by that point, it was out of hand. Also, Volchko with the velo still at the end of the game, like he wasn't out of gas, dude. He was pumping, and
Georgia players don't run out of gas a lot.
That's true. That's true. They get pulled over before they run out. Casey, does this tell us that, sit up a little bit so we can see your logo on your shirt? Does this tell us that Mississippi State is just is actually better than we've said this all along, right? If they got any other matchup, then we're still talking about them too. They're in Omaha. Yeah,
but they have the same problem that we thought that Georgia does, where they don't really have the arms to compete, but they got some sticks in that lineup.
Dude.
They're ridiculous, and they have a bunch back too, and they're just signing everybody out of the portal right now. Watch out for Mississippi State next year.
Yeah, their lineup and their lineup 1 through 9 at one point, I want to say it was like into May, was hitting, like everyone in the lineup besides the catcher was hitting over 300. And I mean, like Ace Reese was incredible, but I will say too, the whole thing about the reseeding, I'm not for that because that's just not what we've ever done. And also, like, if you're Georgia, and it wasn't Mississippi State fans complaining about it. It was Georgia fans, which was very odd to me. But it was like, if you're the 3 seed, the first thing you do, the way the bracket works, you look up and see who the 14 seed is. And so you would have thought you were playing Mississippi State either way. And it makes it was so weird to me to see so many people like, that's unfair. They should have to play so-and-so. And it's like, why would also we take one of the teams like Troy or like, St. John's or somebody that like a 4 seed that upsets the 1 seed, Little Rock, and then punish them a second time by reseeding like they did something. Like, it just made no sense to me.
Yeah, the reseeding doesn't ever need to happen, and that conversation comes every single season.
Yeah.
And it is punishing the little guy. Like, oh, okay, well, you were lucky enough to get out of the regional. Now let's give you Georgia.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Do we reseed in football?
No.
No.
Oh, well,
Okay.
it would have been nice if Bama didn't have to face Indiana ever.
Just
I'll say that.
Just questioning. Okay. Speaking of Bama and their unfortunate fate, they also got rocked by Oklahoma yesterday. Let's talk about that one a little bit. I probably didn't see that. I didn't see it coming in that fashion. I'll say that. But the Sooners are hot right now.
Yeah. I did some digging on this. So Bama, like, there's something for like getting hot in the postseason, right? But if you look at this like on paper, we probably should have seen this coming. Like Tyler Fay's awesome. He was the equalizer, I thought, going into that game. If they were going to win, he was going to have to go, 7 innings pitched, 2 earned at most. But they played Oklahoma earlier this year and they took 2 or 3. But he got tagged for 4 runs in like 6 innings off of them. The issue with Bama was all season, they weren't a fun team to watch. Like even their best player, Justin LeBron, is very frustrating to watch. It's a lot of swing and misses, a lot of strikeouts, didn't hit over 280. But as a team, they hit 253, which was 15th in the SEC. And so for them to get into the postseason where they were all of a sudden averaging like 10.4 runs per game in the first 5 games, and you look up and it's like, well, they did get a 4 seed, St. John's, at the Super Regionals. They might have been fortunate against Oklahoma State because they hit that 3-run bomb to win 9-6. They just never struck me as a team that's like, yeah, I think that team can get hot and stay hot in a place like Omaha. Like I would love if they beat Texas just for the hilarity of it. I don't see that going much better than what happened with them against Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think Alabama, in my eyes, unbiased eyes, are the worst team out of the 8. Now, saying that, you're still a top 8 team, but
Yeah.
they're not fun. And I've watched every single super regional game that I possibly could, and quite honestly was rooting for Mike Hampton, the head coach at St. John's. But
is that the same Mike Hampton?
No.
Got very excited.
He's actually a Clemson alumni from way back in the
Okay.
late 80s or something. But yeah, it just felt like their draw was good. Justin LeBron should be the poster child of college baseball, and he just hasn't either taken the reins. And they keep, every time they mention him on the TV, they're like, oh, he's had some draft issues, like thinking ahead to the draft. I'm sorry, you're going to get drafted. You're a heck of a player, but he has not been exciting at all this season as he was last season.
Dude, he's gone down. His numbers have gone down every year besides stolen bases. Now, him stealing 41 stolen bases is crazy. Like that's I'm not sure if I'm sure that's happened. I've never, that's insane.
He's getting on base.
He's so twitchy and so toolsy and like talented. All of it's there, but I get tired of the whole five tool player because he's not a 5-tool player. He's a 4-tool player. He can hit for power. Got a great arm. Fielding's fantastic. Incredible speed. I mean, he's an incredible athlete every time he steps on, in between the white lines. But like, man, there's some things he does at the plate, dude. If you're thinking about the biggest moment of your career at Alabama, and to his credit, right? Like they ended up, I think in regionals and super regionals combined, he was like he hit 375. Like that's I thought he was turning it on. That's great, but his first 2 at bats, I think he popped out to the second baseman twice. Like in one of them, like was like right behind the pitcher's mound, like it's like just jam job, and then struck out. So you had your first 3 at bats in the College World Series, and you don't get the ball out of the infield, barely out into the dirt of the infield. That's pretty tough.
All right, so now we have we have results from today. Like we said, we've got this winners bracket game going on. What are you looking at from those matchups? And then we'll move on to Genius here. But when we look at the matchups for tomorrow, we'll start with the elimination game between Bama and excuse me.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
A lot of talking for 2
in my
hours.
throat.
Yeah.
In my throat. Yeah. Between Bama and Texas. Is this a football matchup? Like, what are we doing? Are we just, based on everything that you guys just said, are you betting the house on the horns here?
Well, I'm hoping if it's a football matchup that Colt McCoy's daddy's going to walk him to the locker room again. That'd be kind of fun. I mean, in case I think you've watched more college baseball than I have this year, so maybe you have a different take on it. I think my biggest thing is if Bama's going to win that game, they're going to need to hold Texas to like 5 runs or less for sure. And I think the only way that Bama's able to manufacture over 5 runs is if they hit the long ball a couple of times. Like they're going to need to get runs in chunks,
which is hard to do here.
Yeah,
remind everybody.
And they don't have a lot of. I mean, like Riojas is really, really good. I love the first 6 batters of this lineup for Texas. Like they really hunt like really good pitches to attack. And it's not even always when they're ahead. They get really, really good pitches to square up. Bama does not do that like at all. But I just don't see them being able to consistently hit their way to a victory. Like if they're able to run into a couple pitches and they get a 3-run bomb and a 2-run bomb, maybe that's a way to win. But I don't know if they're going to be able to get one hit every couple innings and hope for a walk where LeBron can steal or something like that. What do you think, Case?
Yeah, I'm not sold on. I think it should be a Texas in a runaway, but it's baseball at the end of the day. You got Zane Adams going. He's a junior lefty to throw at that right-hand heavy lineup of Texas. Carson Tenney can't throw the ball back to first base on a strikeout. So is that affecting him at the plate? Because that kid can straight up mash. I didn't like, again, 1 game sample size the other night. I didn't like Texas offensively, but how much of that was Volchko? But they did not impress me. But you're right, 1 through 6, they're solid. If they can mark in the first 3 innings a couple times, Alabama's going to be looking up, I believe, because again, Ruger comes from all sorts of slots. It's what we all used to call a poo slinger. He uses all sorts of slots and nothing straight. So we'll see.
I think the big thing too is that I think the concern for Bama is if like why I say you have to hit the home run for them to get they're going to need runs in bunches like all at once. Like a 3-run home run and then another one is I think like that's the only path in my opinion because of how deep the lineup is for Texas, like you said. And the other part is too is if you get in there and you are able to run Riojas out of the game early, right? You chase him early and he comes out, but it's a situation where it's like you only scored 1 or 2 runs and the bases are loaded. Then they bring in Cozart, you're still in trouble because that's still that's not an easier, it's like getting to the bullpen against Texas can almost be worse than
out of the frying pan into the fryer, right?
Yeah, so it is baseball. And I would love to see Alabama beat Texas, mainly because I'm tired of Texas. But that's an uphill battle, man.
That would be one of those. Oh, it's a shame if they lose.
Totally.
That's a shame. Let's go to the winner's bracket.
In the other game, quickly, are we? I feel like this one's even more open and shut, right? Is it just Georgia all the way here in terms of what our expectation is against Oklahoma, or?
I think so.
Chris keeps making this face at me, and I've totally flipped my stance because Casey and I were so hesitant on Georgia all year, and they keep proving us wrong. That now I'm just going, you know what? They're going to win the whole thing, and I'm not picking against them anymore.
So here's the thing: if you're just now doing it, we're 36 SEC games into Georgia's season, and I feel dumb for picking Texas the other night, but a lot of that was Volantis. I think the big thing for Georgia here's track record, right? They're 29-6. So wait, no, 29-7. 29-7 against SEC teams this year. They've won 20 of their last 21 games, and they played their only loss is like at Auburn. I think it's very, very impressive what they've done. But Oklahoma has you think about what they've done this postseason going into the World Series. I think they had at the end of the regular season they had 65 home runs. Right, they've hit 18. In the 7 games from regionals and supers. I think they got at least one yesterday. So they have turned everything around with how well they've been able to hit the ball. They've been able to have a lot of power in that lineup. And I think that Georgia's pitching is they can get got for sure. I think Georgia should win. I'm very hesitant to say a team that has went on the road and beat Georgia Tech twice. And Casey, as a ACC guy, Georgia Tech's lineup is insane.
Oh,
and for them to be able to out-hit them,
unbelievable.
They just don't seem phased. Now, I will also tell you, are they going to have a pitcher that's going to go 7 and just shove it up Georgia's backside, like I doubt it. But I mean, like I'm not as sold that it's just going to be a runaway for Georgia. And that has nothing to do with how great Georgia is. It's just giving a lot of credit to what Oklahoma's doing right now.
Yeah, and he's a freshman right-hander, Xander Mercurius.
Yeah,
I'm saying that wrong,
great
but
name.
he's a freshman righty, 5'10", another guy that doesn't bring it necessarily in the upper 90s, but he's going to touch 94. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. That lineup just rakes fastballs, and that's a 1 through 9 lineup too.
Is Xander Mercurius the best porn name still in the field?
Yeah.
Like it almost has to be.
I haven't looked that deeply, Chris, to be honest. All right. It's time for It Just Means More Genius, brought to you by our friend MBG. Let's start here. Before we get into any boards, I do have this one for us. I want to ask you guys, last year we were able to have the owner of Rocco's on and talk about the origin story of the Jello Shot Challenge. This is a runaway, and I'm on the record saying that this is now just West Virginia against 2025 LSU. Is that the case? And because now Ole Miss is out, their fans are going home.
Yeah,
and they were the closest. This is not even close. Not in the stratosphere. If West Virginia continues to win, do they clip LSU in 2025?
Didn't they switch the challenge too, where you have to be on site now because they used to do it like that you can still buy it online?
I think you can still do it over there. The 2023 LSU thing was 68,888, and that's because Todd Graves is like, "Here's $100,000." You're like, "Wow, why?"
You know who? And I brought this up on ITG the other day, and JB said, Texas is the one that could just come in and do that.
Yeah,
like some oil guy could just come in and drop stacks, and they don't even actually take the shots. They just pay their way to the front. But I think it's West Virginia trying to beat a record. And did I say 2025? I recognized it when it came out, when you said 23, whatever. Is this just West Virginia record chasing, or do we have? There's no competitive balance here anymore.
No, I think it's them being alcoholics for sure. I mean, like that's not even a dig at West Virginia. It feels like they're very similar to LSU, that they wear that like a badge of honor. Like it's like. Yeah. What do you guys do at your school? Like, well, we have a couple Pulitzer winners and we had like 12 Rhodes Scholars. It's like, what do you guys do? Like, we get fucked up and burn couches. You're like, sick. That's awesome, dude. Cool.
All right, Casey, you ready?
I'm ready. All right. Our friend MBG says Lane Kiffin was holding Ole Miss back from achieving its full potential. Our friend, a Bears fan, NMS, says, what is crazy is they think Kiffin was the sole reason why we entered the upper echelons of the SEC. I would submit Kiffin
multiple echelons.
There are echelons. I would submit Kiffin actually held Ole Miss back from their potential, and only when Pete arrived did we recruit at a higher level and fielded a complete team.
All right, what a way to kick off here in a turn of events. Lane Kiffin hurting Ole Miss and somehow as the head coach with all those wins.
He's never been able to recruit, right, Marler?
Lane Kiffin?
Yeah, worst.
Dude, what I don't understand, like,
the
it's
way
such
Marler,
a weird.
All people just went Lane Kiffin, like that was a serious comment.
It's yeah. Well, I mean, like, there's just this weird level of like delusion. I feel like from the Ole Miss side, and like the LSU. I don't think maybe it is their fans. I don't think Pete Golding's the one that's attacking like stuff on social media or saying anything on social media that's starting anything. I don't even think he's really participating. Every time they've talked to him, he's like kind of like, I don't care. I'm talking ball. I got a zen in. I'm real focused right now. Everyone shut up. Like I'm trying to recruit and do this. And I think that's great for Ole Miss. I think it's really good. What has been weird about it is that like you can sit there and kind of adopt the same attitude if you want. And I feel like a lot of fan bases try to do that with their coaches and be like, there's not really a reason to hate. I mean, like you hate Kiffin, fine, but it's been weird watching this, like the rewriting of history with him there with this kind of stuff, and then being like I wrote about this today. Shameless plug of like, it's like, hey, are you not worried that the offense is going to look different? No, Kiffin wasn't calling plays, and it's like, right, Charlie Weiss was. He's also gone. He's now at LSU. Like, well, he's not. They're not even the ones that found Trinidad. That was Joe Judge. You're like, okay, is former in New York Giants fired coach Joe Judge going to lead you guys back to the college football playoff? Like, what? Like, it's just weird to me. It's very weird to me. It's weird on both sides, but like, the rewriting of history stuff is very bizarre.
All right.
And 2 echelons.
Multiple echelons.
All right. This is a three-parter. So I'm gonna let you get
Speaking of
MBG.
Rhodes Scholar.
I'm gonna let you get MBG, and then we're gonna go 2 boards. We got to go through all of it, Casey, before we get the full picture here.
Here we go. Mississippi State fans still think Georgia is cheating. Our friend Colonial Kang says national championship was last weekend in Athens, and we got boondoggled by Astros level stuff. And then somebody says, what are you seeing? And he says, you can't see it. There might be a book written about this someday, though. They're cheating their asses off, but the way they're doing it is pretty brilliant that I almost give them credit. The only thing you can see on TV is that abnormally take good pitches. They should say they abnormally take good pitches.
I'm not even reacting this week. I'm retiring from reacting because Marler's facial expressions are enough.
They are.
They're
So
enough.
dumb. They've handled this very poorly. Mississippi State fans, it's very. Are we supposed to respond after they put him up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it's reaction time. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Give me the green light. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
Go.
First time doing a video. I think I don't know what he's talking about. It does feel like he's very comfortable to do the whole thing of like, I can't prove it. That's not gonna fucking stop me from saying it on the internet. And you're like, okay, good thing you did, Colonel Kang.
You can't see it.
You can't see it.
Great.
I just assumed
the invisible trick.
The next thing was going to be him saying you can hear it, and then it was like maybe he'll say you can feel it, right? I mean, maybe it's coming in the air tonight. I don't know. That's wild. There you go.
I like that. That was more powerful
Astros
than
level
Craig
stuff.
playing his phone into his mic.
How many people do you think would read a fucking book about Georgia baseball cheating in the 2026 Super Regional years from now?
2.
Yeah.
And
This
one of
guy
them-
who's going to
one of
write
them
it,
was
and it's
Colonel
going to be
Kang,
littered
yeah.
with grammatical errors.
And Monty Taylor from
Yeah.
ACC. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to hear it, but I don't think
We had
I
a board a
think
couple
cheating.
years ago about Tennessee was cheating, or LSU, one of the SECs was cheating by using like electromagnetic fields that they were pumping into the stadium. So
Well,
I
the best
mean,
one always is
Georgia
South
could be
Carolina
doing
cheated against Tennessee because they put
Oh.
sand on the field. So
they did.
SEC fans and SEC universities and electromagnetic fields. I mean, if there's anything that I know about SEC, it's science. You know what I mean? Real big science universities down here.
all right, I clipped this one off, but the beginning said Alabama lost a recruit to Tennessee. All right, go.
Oh no, Keelan Timey 202555 says this is embarrassing as a fan. I knew it would be harder nowadays with all the transactions, but we can't field the championship roster with this crap happening, getting stuffed in a locker. Yeah,
So they lost I believe a 4-star linebacker
that's
whose dad played at Tennessee.
Stuffed
Stuffed in the locker from
Stuffed
Tennessee.
in a locker.
Here's the thing.
You know
First off,
what?
that
I've
guy's
always
name
thought that
sucks.
I've always thought, yeah, it does, and that's a
Elon
new,
Time.
that's a new guy. You're brand new to the board, or you changed your handle.
That's brutal.
Mm.
Keelan Time is a really bad pun. I love puns. I don't think didn't they just finish 4th in the country in recruiting a year ago?
Yeah, they're gonna be fine.
Well, this was one of those like quad box posts from MBG. I thought this one was the best of the 4. I didn't have room for all 4 of them, but another one, directly compared this to Nick Saban recruiting and said, that it was essentially this will never hold up because this doesn't compare to Saban, yada yada.
I think I saw that on Bussin' with the Boys. They tweeted about it.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know where they got it from. Incredible.
Unreal.
Incredible. Just get to the top. Just get up there on top of the mountain and forget everybody else. All right. Yeah. Is this an Alabama problem? Like, is this like a we have to be number 1 or we think the sky's falling situation?
Dude, it's June. Like, I'm
about to throw after the break here in just a second when Casey's gone. I'm going to throw you the most June thing ever. I just want you to know that.
Oh God. Here we go. Pride Month, Casey. I knew he was going to do this to me. The one episode I come, that's a joke. It's just a joke, guys. No, I don't think it's just a Bama thing. There's like a lot of schools that are like freaking out about recruits at times. I mean, they got their own problems. And the Chaz Coleman thing is like they just spent $2 million on a defensive end that's like posting pictures of him with like a laptop put up on a box crate and like $1,200 in cash on his arm, and you're like, not great. So I think everyone's got their own problems right now.
Is it more because it's a Tennessee, because they lost it to Tennessee?
It's a legacy, though. His dad went to Tennessee.
Yeah, no. If you dig a little bit, and not that deep,
right?
That deep, right? Like you would see that it's not like you didn't.
What was that recruit's name? Peyton Manning Jr. This is bull crap, y'all. What?
All right. Last one. And I bookended us with Kiffin because I thought that was appropriate.
MBG says this LSU fan is concerned that Lane Kiffin hasn't bought a home in Baton Rouge yet. War Boudin says this has been a concern of mine too. Him not buying a house says a lot about what his intentions are. 7 down votes, only 1 up vote.
There you go. He's not staying, guys. He's just renting. He's just renting because he's not going to be there for that long.
He's living with Marler. He's got
First off, a lot of great people in Baton Rouge rent their home, including me and my fiance. Is he supposed to have bought a house? Or like, I don't. Also, the way that whole thing is written, I don't think that he's like in position to like quit or like. I mean, like, is he going to take a different job? Where would he go? Back to Ole Miss? That'd be awesome.
That would be sweet. But his track record doesn't necessarily say that, I'm going to stay here for 15 years.
No, it doesn't.
Did anybody expect that? Does LSU want to keep anybody for 15 years?
I think LSU expects him to be here for a while. I think that's the nature of their contract they gave him. All right,
I give it
the big thing for me is like, where does he go? Like, and I think the easier way to say that is it. Well, and maybe, but I think the easier way to say it too is because he's not a guy that like loves the recruiting part of it more than he loves the coaching part of it. Like I think he likes recruiting, but I think he's also more like he's much more adaptable to this day and age of like, hey, we're going to go out and buy players for certain positions we need. And he was ahead of the curve on the transfer portal stuff and really finding the balance of, hey, here's what we should spend for recruiting and high school players versus what we're going to spend in the portal and where to go attack stuff in different positions of need. I don't like right now. I can tell you 1,000%. I look at this and say, where's he going to go? Where would he go where he feels like it's better than LSU? But the thing is, 4 or 5 years down the road, like anybody with a job, we don't know what everything's going to look like 4 or 5 years from now. Like they might not feel like he's accomplished enough or like it's just, there's so many uncertainties with that stuff. Do not clip that, Rob. I cannot get in trouble.
Ryan Day has to be fired at some point, right? Maybe Ohio State.
Ryan Day is just, he gets like lost in the show. Ohio State is not talked about in the offseason, I feel like, at all. Like or maybe it's just we're all in this bubble of like the Southeast region yelling at each other, but they somehow fly under the radar as like an elite program way more than they should.
And they have one of the most loaded rosters in the country
ever. Yeah, they're gonna
all the time.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Casey Cregan, I told you I'd get you by 8:30. It's 8:34. Love you, buddy. Appreciate you being here with us.
Thank you,
tickling our ears as always. We're going to hit a break here on SEC Sunday Night. When we come back, I will challenge Chris Marler to go up against Adam Rittenberg and his 2-year projections of all the Power 4 teams in college football. We'll be right back on the Chief Sports Network.
At TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, we believe true health and peak performance start with personalized care. Whether you're an athlete recovering from injury or just chasing your next personal best, we're here to guide your journey. With expert coaching, hands-on therapy, and transparent cash-based pricing, you get the care you need without the insurance red tape. One client drove 100 miles just to see us and said it was worth every mile. Contact us at trifitperformance.com or 803-353-5619. TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, where recovery meets results.
When playing sports, you want a coach that will fight for you. At Hewitt Diamaduros Law Firm, we've got your back. Whether it's personal injury, insurance disputes, negligence, or wrongful death, our team delivers exceptional legal services that makes meaningful difference in the lives of the individuals and families we work for. Visit hdlawsc.com. hdlawsc.com. Hewitt Diamaduros, we're on your team.
This is SEC Sunday Night, part of the Chief Sports Network.
Welcome back to SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network and proudly presented by Hewitt Diamaduros Law, hdlawsc.com. Little update here. We're now tied 2-2, top of the fifth between West Virginia and North Carolina. I'm Rob Williams. Chris Marler here joining me tonight as we jump in. Chris, how are we feeling? We did a little baseball talk. We did a little message board talk.
Yeah.
It's time to actually talk about sports now. Are you ready to do that?
First off, I love college baseball. But yeah, I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah, I love college baseball too. It is its own animal. And I will say this: my co-host on Four Quarter Friday, Matt Smith, better known as Smitty, always says that the college baseball postseason is the most fair way to choose a national champion. There's nothing fluky about it. You got to go out there and do it multiple times.
Yeah, it's just a different game too. It's like
absolutely.
I mean, I don't. It's tough. I think at times to try to sit here and figure out like, all right, well, how are you gonna like the Georgia-Texas game last night? I understand the frustration if you're a Texas fan, but also like, you know, it's kind of the beauty of like the College World Series. I think it's an incredible scene. But to get that many, there's just never been a year where there's not a ton of people in Omaha. Like there's never been a draw that you sat there and watched like that sucks. Like there's nobody there. It's like all these empty seats, and it's a 30,000 seat stadium, and they fill it up constantly. You're there right now. You can tell.
Yep, absolutely. I'm live from the press box. Okay. So Adam Rittenberg did a 2-year projection of college football programs, ranking all Power 4 programs as 68 teams. And this is over the next 2 years. Now, I'm going to let you know, criteria for this ranking is quarterback situation, offensive and defensive line outlook, roster management, star power, and coaching staff. Okay? We tracking?
Uh-huh.
All right. We're going to live react here. I already saw it because we did it on Late Night Gamecock show an hour ago. But I'm going to let you live react here. Some no-brainers here up top. This is the top 30, and then I'm going to give you the rest of it. But no-brainers here in the top 10, I think, when you look at in terms of over the next 2 years, where do you project these programs to be? You mentioned Ohio State a minute ago, kind of flying under the radar. Here's my major issue with Notre Dame, and the major issue that I have with this criteria in general is that schedule is nowhere to be found. Now, I understand it's really hard to project the schedule, especially the 2027 schedule. Like we're really in the weeds if we're going to start doing that. But Notre Dame is going to walk backwards on their hands into the college football playoff this year because there's nothing in their way. Zero.
The whole revenge tour thing is so stupid. It's so stupid. Like that, like the schedule. I think they have 4 out of their 12 teams had a winning record last year. And so that part's a joke. I mean, you can sit there and say they should have wanted or not wanted, but made the postseason a year ago. But again, there's such a difference of if you don't win your games. I sat there and watched Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Alabama in 2024 not make the college football playoff, which I think they had better teams than Indiana that season.
Yep.
Clearly better teams than who was the 12 seed that year? Who was the 12 seed? Oh, was it Clemson that got the 12 seed? And then Boise got because Texas was the 5 seed, I think. Yeah. And then Boise got a 3 seed out of there. Like what pissed me off about that whole thing too, and this is I'm going on a tangent, but I need to get it off my chest.
That's fine.
We talked about those games the first year where it was like, okay, Arizona State and Iowa State, I think it was, are playing for the Big 12 championship. It's a win and get in, and the loser goes to the Pop-Tart Bowl. And I love the Pop-Tart Bowl, but like it was basically, if you don't win this game, you're not only out, but you're going to drop outside the top 20 and you're going to end up in a meaningless bowl game in comparison. And the winner not only got into the playoff, they got a 4 seed and a bye. And you're like, what the hell? Like, how does that happen? So basic, just off of this though, and you said the first thing that you said was quarterback situation, which I think is important.
A 2-year quarterback situation. Got to keep
Right.
that in mind.
What year is CJ Carr?
You know what? It would behoove me to be prepared, but
I
I'm
mean,
not. I'm not prepared on non-SEC teams, but I'm right there with you. He is a freshman, so he's a redshirt freshman.
Okay, fair enough. Is Gunnar Stockton a senior or is he a junior?
I think he's a senior.
Yeah. All right. So double check on the safe side, but Ohio
I'm looking.
State. What is he?
I'm looking.
Okay.
He's a junior according to
Okay.
ESPN.
Ohio State, Texas, Oregon, and Miami are all going to need new quarterbacks next year. So 4 out of your top 6 are going to have a new quarterback.
Yeah, Miami has proven they're going to go pull the best quarterback out of the portal every year, and if he's not in, they'll make him in the portal.
Sure, but they're gonna. If you're basing it off that, I already have an issue with that. The only ones on this list, LSU is going to be the same way. Sam Levitt's projected to leave after this year. Maybe he does return. A&M, I think Marcel Reed is only a junior.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's going to go to the NFL. Alabama's from a quarterback situation over the next 2 years. Feels like Alabama might have the best, like the best projection besides maybe Georgia or Notre Dame in that top 10. Like, so that's kind of confusing to me. Texas Tech. Okay. The roster, did they make this? I don't know if they made it before. After the roster part of that's
I feel like
interesting.
he probably made it before.
Ole Miss is also interesting to me because it's like, I just have a hard time believing that they're just going to pick up where they left off last year with so much change. But again, for the next 2 years, I mean, John Mateer will be gone after this year. The USC quarterback is supposed to be projected to be gone this year. That's just a lot of turnover at that position alone. And maybe I need to look at the other parts of it like more than I'm doing.
Offensive line, defensive line, roster management, star power, coaching staff are your other things you're looking at here. So
I mean, there's still again,
don't look at skill position. Don't look at the back 7 on defense.
Yeah.
Just look
the
at
coordinator, being able to keep the coordinators. Like, I don't.
Yeah. Coaching staff is in there, so that's one that we're looking at for sure. But it's basically quarterback, line of scrimmage. Who are your big stars outside of that? And how did you manage your roster and your coaching staff?
I don't mind Notre Dame at the top. I do think that it's weird to me, this infatuation we have with Marcus Freeman being such an elite coach right now.
I agree.
It's really impressive that he got to the national championship last year or 2 years ago. Like, cannot take that away from him. But you did that with a generational running back. You did it with a really good portal quarterback and a lot of other key players. I think what's so confusing to me is that, like, the same guy that lost to Marshall the year before at home, same guy that lost to Northern Illinois, it's also the same guy that lost those 2 games last year that kept them out of the playoff. And so that seems a little bit skewed to me. Ohio State, I think, should probably be number 1, even though Saban's going to be gone. They've recruited so well, though. And then I look at Texas, and I'm like, I get it, but and maybe you're just building this off of what they can buy in the portal. But you think about how good Texas is going to be this year. They're going to lose their left tackle, who's going to be a top 15 pick. Arch, I wouldn't be shocked if Arch came back. I would not be shocked if Arch came back.
Yeah.
No matter how good his season is, because I don't think he cares about the money. But they lose a lot of good people there. And I also already know, like, I'll be ignorant on this one. Why the hell is Minnesota on this list ahead of South Carolina?
We're not even there yet, Chris. Wait till I give you the next graphic that has the next group of rankings, and there's going to be a whole nother class of teams you're going to ask that same question about. I thought PJ Fleck lost his oars, but apparently they're still rowing the boat enough to get them to 28th in this projection.
That's crazy.
I think Florida's too high. I think that media collectively, national media has an infatuation with the Gators.
Yeah.
I don't know they have a quarterback that can play in the SEC, and so that's interesting to me. I want to see that to believe it. I think it's hilarious that Iowa's at 21 because they live in that 20 to 25 range, and they will never be anywhere else.
Ever.
SMU is also interesting to me. I think my initial reaction is they have enough money to keep that roster managed well.
Yeah.
Because it's SMU. I don't know, like, from a line of scrimmage standpoint, that I would say their offensive and defensive lines put them at 19th in the country over the next 2 years.
Or if Lashley's going to even recruit that position that well, because like that's just not. really never been his thing dating back to when he was at Auburn.
And you don't need it in given where they are.
Right. That's a really good point.
That's not your priority.
No.
So yeah, I mean, some interesting things definitely here in this group. Minnesota really jumps to me.
Penn State is one to me. Like, if we're going to do that, I'm putting Virginia Tech on the top 30 because I think Franklin's going to have them recruiting that DMV area really, really well. Penn State, okay, I mean, they got the coach from Iowa State, Matt Campbell, right? Not Matt. Is his name? Yeah, his name's Matt Campbell.
That's it.
But like every year,
and he brought basically the whole staff and the roster.
Cool. What were they good last year?
Well, that's my point.
They went 8-4, right? Like they do every fucking year.
That's what I'm saying is that they brought the roster.
I just don't. I mean, they'll be able to recruit that area very well. And they'll get some leftovers out of Ohio that Ohio State didn't recruit well enough because they get such a national footprint. And there's a lot of good talent in Pennsylvania. South Carolina raids that state a lot, though. That's just shocking to me that like they're not Iowa State, and I'll say that that's the same school for right now. Penn State and Iowa State are the same school because of the copy paste you had with their players from Iowa State to Penn State. But we give A&M so much crap for always being ranked in this top insert number here and then falling under expectations. But Iowa State does that all the time. Like every year, like they're they haven't had an undefeated home schedule. Like they've never gone undefeated at home in a season since like 1936. They've been playing in the Big 12 forever. I mean, like what? Yeah. That's crazy. I don't get that.
Can I ask the question about USC too? When we talk about lines of scrimmage, when we talk about roster management, I'm not seeing it from Lincoln Riley. I think that if we ask most people, he would fall somewhere on at least a warm seat list.
Yeah.
But I get it that their projection is to continue to climb, and they were kind of there. I think they're buried under the cap of the Big Ten, though. And the Big Ten is very top heavy, and you're going to have these teams with Ohio State and Michigan and maybe Penn State and now Indiana and Oregon.
Right. I do think they can get to 9-3 though.
How do they break through that? Yeah, but how do they break through that cap? Does that put them at 14th nationally if they just get to 9-3?
They need to just return to what they were when he was at Oklahoma, which is, hey, we got a really good offense, we got some really good quarterback play, and we're gonna go make but here's the thing too. Like they're gonna go, if you get 9-3, I don't think they're gonna keep that brand out of the playoff if they have a good enough wins on their schedule. They also don't play Notre Dame anymore. Like that's gone out of their non-con. So that's a positive, right?
Yeah.
I get it to an extent because USC also recruited, I think, the number 1 overall class in the country last year. And that is, now granted, they brought in like 38 dudes in that class, but I think they had the number 1 overall class in the country a year ago. So I kind of get that and the track record with Lincoln Riley. But Lincoln Riley, when you think about it, he's really just a younger Brian Kelly in terms of what he did. And like him leaving Oklahoma, then saying he was going to go to LSU and then dodging there and kind of using that as leverage to go out to Southern Cal. I mean, like there's people around Baton Rouge that have told me that was a done deal. Like that was done. He was coming here. He told them like he had every intention of signing, blah, 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 and used it to leverage his way out to Southern Cal. I think in the same way that Brian Kelly was like, hey, if Coach O could go win a national title at LSU and all these other coaches could win at LSU, I mean, imagine what I can do because I'm such a great coach. And I think he thought, I think Lincoln Riley probably thought the same at Southern Cal, especially when they were in the Pac-12.
I agree. And, here's what I want to say before we flip the script a little bit, because I do have the bottom group as well, and it may be even more interesting than this. From an SEC standpoint, would you rearrange anybody here? Are you moving like a Georgia or somebody ahead of Texas?
Yeah, I'm moving Georgia ahead of Texas.
And are you shifting around as you look at kind of like this LSU, A&M, Alabama, Ole Miss, Oklahoma cluster that's in that 8 to 13 range? Are you rearranging anything there? Or for me, it's the other side of it where I say, like, I don't like Florida where they are. I would drop them down. I'd have them top 30, but I think that, like low 20s around where Missouri is more of my thought process there. And I really think Tennessee's probably exactly where they need to be. They're the one that I agree with the most.
I would have Tennessee probably a little bit higher the way they've recruited on the offensive defensive line. Like, I mean, and you got Jim Knowles coming in. You got whoever the quarterback's going to be. You get him at a young time. It's similar to what I said
I
about
agree with
the
that
same
one.
thing with like, and that part too. The other part too for Tennessee. I mean, they brought in 2 5-star offensive linemen, offensive tackles. I don't know if they're both going to start. Right. I think the kid David Sanders is going to start again. And the other one they brought in this year, I don't know if he's going to start right away, but that seems like it should probably carry a little bit of weight. I do not agree with Ole Miss. I'm just not sold on. I think Pete Golding is a phenomenal recruiter. They're about to lose Trinidad. I mean,
it's a 2-year projection, so you got to go. What's next? That's included in this. Yeah,
I would also probably throw Missouri in there because at Missouri they just lost like their 2 best edge rushers. I think they accounted for like 43% of their tackles for loss and sacks like a year ago, and like all the pressures from Damon Wilson II and Zion Young. LSU A&M, I'm fine if you flip-flop them. I would have both of them ahead of Alabama, especially with how bad Alabama's offensive line play has been. But I would say the outside of that, I don't really have. I mean, I would move Tennessee up for sure. I would drop Ole Miss, and I would probably have Tennessee ahead of Oklahoma, even though Oklahoma does have a lot of really good returning offensive linemen. They've got like 6 players that had at least 6 starts a year ago, which mathematically I don't know how it's possible, but it's obviously good. And then last but not least, though, Georgia. I don't know why we do this every year. Like until Texas beats Georgia, I do not understand how they are constantly ahead of them.
And Oregon, for that matter, if we step outside of it and look at kind of where this thing is laid out.
Yeah. I mean, that's. I mean, how many times do you get to see Texas get beat by Georgia?
I don't know.
To say like, no, they should probably move down.
Okay, really quick before I flip it, as the host of the Locked On Gamecocks podcast, where do you think South Carolina is? I'm about to give you 31 through 68. This is the entire.
I think I saw this. I think they're at 43.
You're close.
46.
It's 46.
Yeah, that's absurd.
All right, so here's the rest of the list.
So stupid.
Teams ahead of South Carolina include the Jared Curtis-led Vanderbilt Commodores. Let's see here. Oh, Cal really sticks out to me here on this list. Duke without their quarterback and best weapon off of last year's roster. I get it. They just won the ACC. Wake Forest.
What is going on? They lost all of their good offensive linemen.
And have no NIL money.
Right.
Is Chesney that hot at UCLA? Maybe, but I don't know that I necessarily see that either.
This is crazy.
The things that when I look at this, the one that jumps, and I'm not here to throw rocks. Wake Forest being ahead of any SEC school, is problematic to me. It's problematic. Arkansas is way down there, dude. Arkansas is at 61. 61.
I don't mind.
But to say that Wake Forest is 44 and Arkansas is 61, creates an issue for me.
Wake Forest being in the middle, that's wild. Because
Colorado's at 57, and I think that ruffled feathers.
Why?
Nationally too, just because of I think that the lines of scrimmage probably do them in
so bad.
But maybe that experiment of Dion in the Power 4 is
coming to an end.
Yeah, is dwindling. Yeah.
My biggest gripe here. Yeah, I don't mind Oklahoma State with what they brought with them at North Texas. I don't mind the Auburn thing.
I don't mind the Auburn thing at all. Yeah, I think
I don't know enough
higher
about
than
Cal.
42.
It seems stupid. I don't know enough about Cal, but that seems odd. The Duke thing's mind blowing. Virginia was Virginia was like 11-1 last year, right? Or 10-2.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a single player drafted, and like they had draft eligible players to be clear.
Do they know who their quarterback is?
I don't know. I don't know who their quarterback is.
Exactly. Yeah, because they lost him. He's out of eligibility.
Tech, I think they're always going to have a decent offensive line when you have Brent Key as your head coach. I think Virginia Tech's way too low. I don't know anything about Pitt. Maybe we're basing this off of the fact that Pitt always has good defensive linemen. I don't know. But, yeah, the rest of this is – I mean, here's the thing I know about South Carolina in general. I know they're losing Norris, but it feels like – and maybe this is me just reacting from a place of bias. It feels like you really put all the rules in place with South Carolina when it came to how you judge this. Like, if it's based off a quarterback leaving – if it's based off the lines of scrimmage over the past couple of years, like I think they're going to be much better up front this year. Again, I don't know how much you get much worse, but the defensive line and how they're recruiting the interior defensive line and the interior offensive line is much different. And also, let's not forget they have Julian Walker, who's a 5-star. It's going to be on this year's team, and I think that they like the thing that people always forget about South Carolina is Clayton White is one of the best defensive coordinators in the conference, if not the country, specifically at being able to force turnovers. And they are always in contention because of what their defense can do. But it's South Carolina, and people just love to forget about South Carolina.
I think that what stands out to me, too, when you talk about South Carolina is stacking them right on top of Kentucky. When you have a reset here again, and all resets are different. But I don't love Joe Sloan as the offensive coordinator instead of Will Stein, who clearly was okay at calling offense at Oregon. And that's sarcasm for anybody who didn't catch it.
Yeah.
And you're going to bring in Joe Sloan to do that. There's a quarterback. I have quarterback questions here too. When you talk about Minchie coming in, how does he fare in the SEC week in, week out? This is not your big blue wall that went 10-2 years ago at Kentucky. I think they have a little bit of rebuilding to do in Lexington.
Yeah.
Craig has been really high on them, but when I say really high on them, it's like my version of Mississippi State from last year. I was high on Mississippi State last year, and my statement was they're better than everybody thinks.
Right.
And they're gonna clip somebody because somebody's gonna not be paying attention.
And they almost did.
And exactly. But that doesn't mean that they are gonna be 7-5 even. You know what I mean? And that's the conversation that I have with Kentucky is like, I think Craig is probably right. Like, I think that they're going to be sneaky enough that they might jump up and get somebody. But does that mean they're bowl eligible in year one under Will Stein? I don't know. And kind of stacking those rosters, when I look at it between Kentucky and South Carolina, I just don't think that that's the situation where I'd have them back to back.
So here's the thing. And I do not clip this because I'm not trying to lose my job because I love what I get to do. I will tell you, if you had Kentucky ahead of South Carolina as a projection, I wouldn't have hated it. I would have disagreed with that less than Wake Forest, than Duke, than maybe even Nebraska and these other teams. Because here's the thing with Kentucky, what I was so surprised about this year with Kentucky was when they hired Will Stein, one, that they made a change at all, right? They finally make the change. They get a new guy in there, younger guy. They put money in the NIL stuff. But, like, the amount of resources they gave him in the portal, and they're recruiting very well right now. Like, they're recruiting very well. It's very early, and I don't expect them to finish. I think they were, like, 4 a couple weeks ago, which they're not going to finish top 5. But, like, that's a basketball roster that, by their own admission, was a $22 million roster. And it felt like that the majority of their money was going to basketball, and that should be a surprise to no one. So I look at that and I say, okay, if you're going to give that much into basketball, you're probably not going to have a lot left for football. Then you look what they did in the portal. They brought in 29 players to the portal. 20 of them are from former Power 4 schools. 14 are from the SEC. They got some former 5-stars like the Baxter kid from Texas. They got the receiver, Nick Anderson, who was here at LSU last year, and a top 15 player. They got Lance Hurd from Tennessee, which that's a lot of spend there. Like, if they're going to do this every year, then I do love Kentucky to start being better than they are. Now, will they do that, or is this just, hey, let's hit the ground running and give them a surplus to work with at the start?
Yes, it's a great question. The last question I would ask here is, and let me highlight this before we go over there. Iowa State, who we mentioned before, who got the rug ripped out, is at 63. So Matt Campbell takes everything to Happy Valley, leaves them at 63. Okay. Vanderbilt is at 33, which is kind of like almost dead middle of the pack.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you think that they are a middle of the pack Power 4 team in the next 2 years? I think Pavia and all of that goodwill and fortune and grittiness, and we're going to get out here and win and make everybody better, is gone. And we're getting closer to old Vanderbilt in 2026 and 2027 for me. I think Jared Curtis gets punched in the freaking mouth in 2026.
2026, they're going to be bad. Now, maybe he's like a lot better in 2027, but it's not just Pavia. It's the fact that they lose. Like, what they had in the trenches was really impressive, and I think Clark Lee is – I love what Vanderbilt did with Clark Lee, which was they gave him time to be whatever he was going to be. Like they did not sit here and say,
Wholeheartedly
you didn't have
agree.
enough success in the first 3 years. We're done with you. Even with Pavia, like the 7 wins, but are they going to compete for 10 wins a season? No. I mean, they got kind of like they avoided what teams they avoided last year: Ole Miss, A&M, Georgia. I think even in the South Carolina game, Lenore's got hurt in like the first quarter, whatever. Like, I mean, like they were a good team, but they also lose Eli Stowers. Like it's not just Diego. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting to see with them, but having them at 33, and again, in comparison to South Carolina, maybe that's just based off of what's his name? Jared Curtis. Because if you go to the first page again, they had Houston at 27, and I was like, why the hell is Houston at 27? And then you realize, or 26, you realize, oh, Houston's the team that went out and got whoever like the number 1 quarterback in the country was last year ahead of Jared Curtis. So maybe it's something with that. I don't know, but there's no chance they're at 33rd in the country.
All right. There you have it. We just did 25 minutes on reacting to where all SEC teams are projected in the next 2 years. My boy Chris Marler, I appreciate you coming on and co-hosting with me tonight. I'm Rob Williams, and this is SEC Sunday Night on the Chief Sports Network. We'll be right back here next week like we are every week at 8 o'clock. We'll see you guys then.